Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are opening the door to the extraordinary world of Amara. It's a realm really defined by this huge struggle, this cosmic battle between the forces of Paladin and the evil Pretender.
And our focus today is going to be pretty specific. We're tracing the very first steps of Kale Allerion. She's an Ermint's girl, and she's about to find out a whole lot about herself and her destiny. I mean, she gets yanked from slavery, basically, into this massive quest involving a dragon egg. It's quite the start.
Yeah, we've been digging through a ton of source material, all the notes and chronicles detailing Kale's entry into this huge new world. Our mission really is to pull out the key stuff, look at the racial hierarchies, the magic system, the moral compass guiding Paladin service, all through her eyes.
And that journey kicks off with some serious culture shock. Her first glimpse of Vendela, the capital city, that tells you almost everything you need to know about the world she's stepping into. It's just stunning, architecturally.
Oh yeah, the sources describe it vividly. You've got these sheer white walls, shining blue roofs, golden domes. It screams power, stability, palaces, castles, spires. It looks like something out of a myth, a proper high-race city.
But Kale's reaction isn't just awe. What's really interesting, and kind of hints at her hidden abilities, is how sensitive she is mentally. Vendela wasn't just buildings. The sources say it pulsated with thoughts and feelings. Thousands of them.
Right, she's from this tiny Marion village, river away, maybe 30, 40 people. She could handle that mental background noise. But Vendela, she felt it would just smother her inner person. It's not just overwhelming, it's showing she's tuned in psychically, way more than she realizes.
And that leads to her first strategic thought, really.
Yeah.
She decides she has to approach slowly, maybe just a mile a day. Wait until that mental roar dies down a bit, until it feels manageable. She knew rushing would make her go mad in my head, that need for mental defense. It's foreshadowing her training.
So let's pin down where she starts. She's an Orant, though. Councilman Miger, the Marion guy who sends her, admits he'd never actually seen one before. She was a slave. Now she's being sent to the hall in Vendela as a servant, which to her is a huge leap in status she never expected.
And she has basically nothing. Patched homespun clothes, covered in dust from traveling. But she does have two important items. First, that long blue scarf Mistress Miger gave her, a link to kindness, even in her past life.
And the second thing, well, that's the whole reason for the quest right now. It's this soft scarlet pouch around her neck. Inside is a small, smooth, stone-like egg.
Yeah, and when she touches it, it gets warm. It thrums with, joy and anticipation. This little dragon embryo inside Jim, it's already plugged into Kale's feelings. That connection is there from the very beginning.
Okay, that sets the scene perfectly. Kale, entering this massive city, needing to shield her mind. Let's zoom out a bit now and talk about the bigger picture of Amara, the moral structure, the different races involved.
Right. The world, as Kale understands it initially, is kind of framed by this mural she sees. It depicts the brotherhood of Amara. And this is where we get the introduction to the 7 high races, the ones generally aligned with Volder and Paladin.
Let's list them out. First, the Urohms, Kale's own people. Apparently quite mysterious. Even Miger didn't really know them. Then the Marions, the fighters, usually short, like Miger and his village guards. Bali and Gronmir, fierce though.
Then you contrast them with the Urohms. These are the giants. But they're not just big. They're described as well-proportioned and, crucially, very intelligent. So huge size matched with intellect. They probably play key roles. Strategy, maybe. Protection.
Then you have the Emerlindians. Elegant, ancient. The sources say they live for a long, long time, hundreds, maybe thousands of years.
And that lifespan isn't just about time. It shapes their power. They're born pale, apparently, and darken as they age, going from white to eventually dark brown or black. And their mental powers just grow and grow over those centuries. They're like the living libraries and psychics of Amara.
Okay, and the others, smaller, more specialized.
Yeah, you've got the Doneels. They're called the Bantam race. Furry ears, known for elegance and music. We'll definitely talk more about Dar, the Doneel, later.
Right.
Then the Kimens, tiny, under 2 feet tall. Delicate, super swift, elusive. They wear forest colors, masters of camouflage.
And the last one, Tumenhoffers. Mention, but not much detail at first. So these 7, they're the good guys, conceptually at least.
Basically, yeah. They're united under this core moral idea. Kale learns that Wooler is the ultimate authority. He ordered the world, made a pledge, sent Paladin. Paladin is the great warrior, the leader, and his service is what drives the whole quest. It's all very structured, divinely mandated.
And the opposite force.
The Pretender, the source of all evil. And the sources are really clear here. The 7 low races, grawligs, rotmas, bisonbecks, that sort of thing. They were brought forth from Pretender's evil mind.
Whoa, hang on. Brought forth from his evil mind. So not just corrupted, but actually created from evil.
That's what it implies, yeah. It's a pretty profound concept. It suggests they're intrinsically evil, fundamentally made of corruption. That has huge implications for how Paladin's warriors have to deal with them, right?
Yeah.
It's not about trying to save them. It's about stopping them. Containment. Defeat.
And Kale learns this firsthand almost immediately, doesn't she, when she runs into the grawligs?
Oh, yeah. Huge hairy mountain ogres. Her first lesson is basically Ogres 101. Learn their habits. They stink, they're dumb, they're vicious. Apparently they prefer roasted venison to odorant, which is oddly specific.
A small mercy, I guess.
Maybe. They're clumsy too, big fingers, maybe scared of tight spots. These are all potential weaknesses.
But the biggest weakness is what they drink.
Right, Brillum. This foul-smelling ale that none of the high races would touch. And it's key because when Kale encounters them, it's after a big feast. Dozens of grawligs, but 11 of them are just pass out drunk from the Brillum.
Huh. So their own bad habits make them vulnerable.
Exactly. It's not just a plot point. The source material is giving you tactical info. The low race's crudeness, their vices, become openings for Paladin's people. Stealth, rescue. It all relies on exploiting these things.
And speaking of rescue, help arrives just in time. This is where she meets her first allies.
First, Litu Benz. She's an Emerlindian, a mind speaker, and she's wearing the colors of the Hull, golden tan, and rich brown. That signifies she's part of Paladin's official service.
And then there's Dar. His introduction is less formal.
Yeah, much less. At first, he just looks like some fisherman sitting by a stream. But then, surprise, he's a Doneel, a warrior, and he's riding Merlander, a greater dragon. Talk about making an entrance. The cavalry, complete with dragons and Doneel eccentricities, has arrived.
Okay, Dar, this Doneel. He rides a greater dragon, he fights grawligs, but he's also worried about his tailoring and plays music after dinner. How does that fit together?
Dar is, he's a fantastic mix of things. The sources suggest it's partly Doneel culture, partly just him. He's an adjunct in Paladin service, so not exactly frontline military, but vital support. And he has wanderlust, this need to travel, which makes him perfect for a quest like this.
But his skills are all over the place. Cook, warrior, tailor. Seriously. He
loves sewing, wants to look sharp, packs crimson vests and green velvet coats, even for trudging through swamps. He actually says clothing is symbolic, that looking good reflects Wolder's beautiful, ordered world. It's part of his service in his mind.
And the music. Digestive music.
Yeah. Plays harmonica or flute after meals. Claims it helps digestion, relaxation. Again, it ties into that Doneel focus on elegance, music, bringing a bit of culture even into dangerous situations. It's not a flaw, it's just Dar.
Okay, but he does have limits, right? Something about his race.
Yes, a key one. Dar cannot mind speak. And here's a fascinating detail about Amara's design. Doneels have thick heads.
Thick heads, like literally.
Well, psychically thick. It means they're harder to read than Marion's. Even an expert mind speaker like Litu struggles to get into his thoughts.
So it's like natural mental shielding.
Exactly. In a world where psychic attacks from the Pretender side are a real threat, having someone who's naturally resistant is a huge advantage. So he can't mind speak, but he acts as the voice for Merlander, relaying the dragon's thoughts to everyone else.
Which brings us to the whole mind-speaking thing. Merlander connects with Kale instantly.
Instantly. Knows she's tired, excited, scared. How? Because Jim, the little dragon embryo in the egg Kale's carrying, is reflecting all her feelings.
So Kale's emotions are basically broadcast through the egg.
Pretty much. It shows her feelings have real power, magically. And Litu, the Emerlindian, she's the expert here, she immediately picks up on Kale's mistrust, which makes Kale uncomfortable, naturally. She's not used to someone just reading her like that.
And this leads to an important lesson, right, about ethics.
A crucial one. Kale accidentally overhears Litu mind-speaking to Dar, a private thought. And Litu immediately apologizes. Not for the mind-speaking itself, but for being a lax mentor by not explaining the rules first.
What are the rules?
Basically, never pry into a comrade's thoughts just out of curiosity or to pass the time. Mind-speaking is for service, for coordination, maybe for help. It requires respect, guidance. Using it carelessly is what the other side does. It sets a clear moral line for Paladin's followers.
Okay, so Kale needs training, but she also needs gear. They go see someone important.
Very important. Grainy noon. She's described as this wise, old, kind, dark-skinned Emerlindian, lives underground in this cozy, protected place.
And she gives Kale some magic word.
Defensive phrases, yeah. Leave them like passwords powered by faith and allegiance. Two main ones.
Okay, what's the first?
If you need to search a mind that's blocked, maybe by evil magic, you say. In Volder's service, I search for truth. It acts like a key, basically, affirming your purpose.
And the second?
Pure defense. Against nasty thoughts, psychic intrusion from Pretender's agents. You declare, I stand under Volder's authority. It throws up a powerful shield, claiming that higher protection that evil struggles to breach. They're not just words, they're acts of alignment that have real magical effect.
Powerful stuff. And she gets a piece of clothing too, right? The cape?
The Moonbeam Cape. Essential gear. Light gray fabric made from the moonbeam plant, not actual moonlight. The sources are specific about that.
And it makes her invisible.
Not quite. It's more like camouflage. When she stands still, it shimmers and blends her into the background. It works best in shadows at night. In bright light, you could still see her outline. So, stealth, not true invisibility, needs her to be still and use the environment.
But there's more to the cape, isn't there? The pockets.
Ah, yes, the hollows. Special deep-side pockets that magically conceal whatever's inside. No bulges, no weight shifting the fabric drape.
That's incredibly useful. What does she put in there?
All sorts. Books like The Care and Feeding of Minor Dragons. Plus Granny Noon's provisions. Beans that grow into breakfast instantly, dried leaves for headaches, twigs that point to water, special feathers that signal peace or trouble or follow me. The hollows make her self-sufficient, but still stealthy.
Okay, teams formed, geared up, got the ethical guidelines. How do they travel next?
They use a gateway. It's described as this patch of air that quivers with iridescent colors. A magical shortcut.
Sounds cool. Is it pleasant?
Not at all. Kale feels this crushing pressure. Her vision blurs completely. It's disorienting, rough. Dar has to help her catch her breath, but it works instantly, transports them from Granny Noon's place to Farron Forest, right near their next stop, Betterman's Bog.
Betterman's Bog. Why are they heading there?
Their goal is Wizard Fenworth. He's a powerful magic user, chosen by Paladin himself to look after another important artifact, the Meech Egg. Kale needs to connect with him before Risto, the main villain, finds him.
And the bog itself reflects this hidden quality.
Definitely. They leave the fresh, flowery Farron Forest and step into the midways, then the bogs. The whole atmosphere changes. Musty, mildew, stagnant water, these huge cygnot trees looming everywhere. It feels like a place that wants to keep people out.
And Fenworth is the same way. Elusive.
Extremely. He's the master of the bogs, and you don't find him unless he wants you to. He's a master shapeshifter, too. Kale spots him first as just a tall old man, seems normal, but then, poof, he turns into a bird, a tut-tut flits away. Then, poof again, he becomes part of the tree trunk. He uses blending and disappearing as his primary defense. Smart if you're guarding something precious.
But they don't get to search for long before trouble finds them.
Nope. They get ambushed by Mordecleeps. Dar identifies them straight away. Says they're one of the 7 low races always teaming up with anything nasty. Right now, they're working for Risto.
What are they like? Physically?
Terrifyingly vague.
Yeah.
Massive, silent, black, blobby shadows. They literally ooze up through the floorboards. Grotesque mouths, yellow teeth. Just pure amorphous evil made physical.
How do you even fight something like that?
You need specific knowledge. Dar provides it instantly. Their weakness? They have these incredibly long tails, and they must keep the very tip in water. Why? Because their lungs, hundreds of little gills, are right there, a foot from the end.
Ah, so the weak spot is the tail tip.
Exactly. Dar's command is blunt. Cut off its tail.
Yeah.
He does it quickly, efficiently. Sever the tail, and the huge Mordecleep just dissolves into a puddle of black goo. Instant kill.
Brutal, but effective. Does it go smoothly?
Not entirely. They win the fight, but there's a cost. Litu gets captured by the Mordecleeps, dragged away towards Risto's stronghold, and in the confusion, Kale drops her egg. Dar manages to grab it, thankfully.
Crisis averted, but Litu's gone. What happens with the egg?
This is a huge moment.
Yeah.
The egg Kale was carrying, the stone-like one, it hatches right there.
Yeah.
And out comes Jim, a small, minor dragon.
A minor dragon. Are there different kinds?
Yeah, subspecies, all can fly, all can mind speak, but Jim reveals her special talent immediately. She's a healing dragon.
And just in time, I bet.
You bet. They find another dragon nearby, a riding dragon named Celise. She's badly wounded, poisoned. So Kale and Jim get put to the test right away. It takes teamwork. Kale uses supplies from her hollows, like purple tuberous root powder and this oily stuff called scarflet.
So potions and stuff.
partly.
Yeah.
But the real magic happens when Kale and Jim form a circle. Physical touch, relying on Volder. The sources really stress this synergy. Kale isn't the healer herself. She's like an amplifier. Paladin later confirms her gift is to magnify the dragon's own abilities. She enables Jim to heal Celise.
Okay, Celise is healed. Happy ending.
Not quite. There's another moral lesson here. Celise recovers, but she's consumed by rage because monsters killed her family. She launches this reckless, vengeful attack on some nearby bison decks, nearly hitting Dar.
Oh boy. How does Dar react?
He condemns it completely, tells everyone that letting anger to rule is never the way of Volder or Paladin. It's a core principle. Fight with purpose, yes, but don't let those dark emotions rage, vengeance take over. That's Pretender's territory.
While all this is happening, Kale's own powers are growing.
Accelerating, yeah. Before, she just accidentally overheard Litu. Now she takes an active step. During the fight, she projects a vision-blinding light directly into a bison back's mind. Stuns him.
Wow, so she's moving from passive to active use of mind speaking.
Exactly. It's a huge leap. Paladin confirms later that her talent grows by being near Litu, her mentor. This whole sequence shows Kale's power isn't just raw force. It's tied to control, strategy, and importantly, her connection to the dragons and her alignment with Paladin.
Okay, Leech has been captured. The quest pivots to a rescue mission, heading for Risto's stronghold. What's this place like?
Grim. Really grim. Located near the Moorchain Range. The descriptions emphasize unadorned walls of poorly cut stone, a general feeling of despair. It embodies Risto's approach.
How so? What's his specific strategy?
Well, while Pretender creates evil low races, Risto seems focused on corrupting the high races. His stronghold is staffed by Marionis and others, serving him willingly.
Why would they do that?
Simple temptation, according to the sources. Risto offers them an easy life, high wages. It shows how easily that brotherhood ideal can crumble when faced with greed, comfort, or maybe just bitterness. He turns members of the high races into collaborators. It's insidious.
So how do they plan to get Litu out of this place?
They need specialized help. Enter the Kimen Corps. These tiny people, the ones under 2 feet tall, they are absolutely crucial for infiltration.
What makes them so good at it?
Several things. They're natural light gatherers, so they can navigate Risto's dark corridors without needing torches, keeping things stealthy. And their warfare is unconventional.
Like what?
Like throwing hornet nests as weapons, or coordinating something called the Gleanband Swarm, basically using insects or tiny creatures to create massive diversions, confusing the guards while the main team slips past.
Yeah. Clever. And there's a specific Kimen team mentioned.
Yeah, the trio family. Xavian, Glim, Dishay, Vizi, they act as airborne escorts. Apparently, they keep up this lighthearted banter even in dangerous situations. Good for morale. Probably throws enemies off, too.
Okay, they're inside. Dar plays a key role again.
He does. They reach a dungeon room and looks completely empty. But Dar senses something's wrong, an enchantment.
Does he break it with magic?
Nope. With music. He pulls out his harmonica, plays this complex tune, and the illusion just shatters.
And what's revealed?
A horrible sight. 9 cages filled with prisoners. Thin, worn out. And it's a mix of all the high races. Marionis, Doneels, Urohms, Emerlindians, Tumenhoffers, even other Orants.
Orants. So Kale's not the only one. That confirms Risto's goal isn't just power, it's destroying the high races themselves.
Precisely. Capturing, breaking them. It's grim confirmation.
So the escape plan. How do they get everyone out? It sounds complex.
It's desperate. They have to go through the castle, then down a deep well into an underground river, and aim to come out through a waterfall on the cliff face outside the fortress.
Wow. High risk.
Very. They manage to get Litu, wrapped in the moonbeam cape for protection and stealth, past through a window. Then the whole group gathers on this narrow cliff ledge by the waterfall, ready for the final jump onto the waiting dragons, Celise and Merlander.
But Risto doesn't just let them go.
No way. He can't stop them physically at that point, so he resorts to magic. Earth-moving magic. He tries to collapse the entire cliff ledge they're standing on.
Oh, man. Do they make it?
Just barely. Dar and Kale have to literally roll out of the way as the rock starts shattering beneath them. It's chaotic, dangerous, but ultimately they escape. Messy, but successful.
Okay, Litu's safe. But the quest isn't over. Something else happens.
Yeah, right in the middle of all this stress and relief, Kale gets another nudge. From Jim, her little healer dragon, through their mind link, Jim urges her hatch another egg. Now,
Another one. Where did this egg come from?
it's one of the others Kale found originally, back near River Away, under the bentleaf tree. She'd retrieved it from the Blue Cavern. So, following Jim's urging, she hatches it.
What kind of dragon is it?
This one's name is Meta. She's a light lavender color, and she's a singing dragon.
A sing dragon. What does that do?
Heals emotions. Think about it. They just faced capture, despair in the dungeons, rage from Selice. Having a dragon specializing in emotional healing, it shows the fight against Pretender. And Risto is psychological too, not just physical battles.
Good point. So now they have Jim for physical healing, Meta for emotional, but the main goal is still that original Meech egg, right? The one Fenworth was supposed to guard.
Exactly. The quest snaps back into focus. The trail leads them to Mount Turbinot, and here they walk right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Classic fairy tale setup almost.
Yeah.
A mysterious old woman appears, offering them a dragon egg. But this egg is huge, way bigger than Kale's head. And Kale instantly feels that this thing radiates evil. She rejects it immediately.
Good instincts. Who was the old woman?
A disguise, of course. It was Burner Stocks, another evil wizard working with Risto. She drops the disguise, turns into this hideous three-headed monster.
Oh, great. How do they handle that?
They don't have to.
Yeah.
Wizard Fenworth finally shows up properly. He just steps in and turns the monster instantly to stone. Just like that. Shows his level of power, high-level defensive magic, transmutation. He's clearly been keeping an eye on them.
So Fenworth's back in the picture. Do they find the real Meech egg?
Yes. Kale eventually locates it inside an abandoned Tumenhofer mine that Risto had been using. Ow.
Oh.
The egg itself gives it away. It starts thrumming loudly, broadcasting its location and its health.
Okay, egg secured. Mission accomplished.
Not quite. This leads to Kale's biggest mistake, a really pivotal moment. They encounter a barrier, a black magical wall created by another dark wizard, Crim Copper. Fenworth is trying to figure out how to dismantle it carefully.
And Kale gets impatient.
Totally frustrated.
Yeah.
Sees her friends potentially still in danger, feels the delay. So she acts on impulse, climbs up on a rock, and just pushes against the barrier with her will. Pure, raw, untamed mental force.
It'll work.
Oh, it works. The barrier collapses.
But
But the way it collapses, it triggers a massive landslide.
oh no.
Yeah. Huge disaster. Nearly all her companions, Leark, Brunstetter, Dar, Lebretowit, even Fenworth, get caught, injured, trapped by the falling rock and debris.
That's awful. What happens to them?
Bisonbex, working for Risto, show up and capture the injured group easily.
And Kale. What does Litu tell her?
Litu, even as she's being captured again, acts like the mentor. She mind speaks a command to Kale. Stay out of sight, and then find the Meech egg, errant girl, and get out of this mountain. Duty first, even in disaster.
So Kale's alone, thinks she caused this catastrophe. Prime time for Risto to mess with her head.
Exactly. And he does. He mind speaks to her. Kale notes something disturbing here. Risto looks unsettlingly similar to Paladin. He mocks Paladin's guidance, tries to tempt her.
What's the temptation?
It's subtle, aimed at the high race mentality. Risto promises to create a new race of beings who enjoy drudgery, who find pleasure in doing all the boring, tedious tasks that the high races don't like. Basically, offering a future of effortless ease built on magical slavery.
How does Kale respond?
She shuts him down. Uses Granny Noon's defense. I stand under Wolder's authority. Repeats it, holding firm. That allegiance is her shield against his manipulation.
Okay, so Kale resisted Risto's temptation, but her friends are captured. She feels responsible. What happens next? Where does the story climax?
It comes together in a cavern inside the mountain. Kale finds her companions again. Turns out Fenworth managed to heal them, likely with help from the minor dragons, Jim and Meta. So the team is reunited, somewhat recovered.
And Risto shows up for a final confrontation.
He does, confronts the whole party. But instead of a physical fight, he tries one last psychic assault. He bombards their minds with evil thoughts described as a gleaming green cloud that actually makes Kale's friends seem to flicker or fade from sight temporarily.
A mental battle for their very existence.
Pretty much. It's called the contest of wills. And how do they fight back? Not with magic blasts, but by standing firm together, united in their loyalty to Paladin. Their collective faith, their shared purpose is strong enough to repel Risto's mental attack. They win the contest without lifting a weapon.
But Risto wouldn't just give up, would he?
No. He escalates. Realizing his psychic attack failed, he starts trying to bring the whole mountain down on top of him. Total destruction.
How do they escape that?
Fenworth pulls out his ultimate move, a whirl.
A whirl. What's that?
It's described as this incredibly powerful emergency teleportation magic. It moves people instantly, without regard for time or distance, like ripping them out of reality and placing them somewhere else. It's Fenworth's desperate last resort play to save everyone from the collapsing mountain.
Does it work?
It does. The entire party is whisked away just as the mountain presumably caves in. It highlights Fenworth's immense power, but also the extreme danger they were in.
Where do they end up?
Kale wakes up somewhere completely different. Ornapi Halls. It's described as a warm, elegant home located in a peaceful Orant Valley. Safe. But Kale is devastated.
Why? They escaped.
Because she blames herself for everything. The landslide, losing the meech egg, she thinks, even believes the minor dragons might have died in the whirl. She feels like a total failure. Classic hero's low point.
And who pulls her out of it?
Paladin himself appears to her.
Wow. The big boss. What does he say?
He confirms he knows everything that happened. Every detail, including the landslide. And this is huge, he tells her she did the right thing.
The right thing. By causing a landslide.
Yes, because her motivation was pure. She acted instantly out of loyalty, trying to help her friends, rather than stopping to calculate or hesitate. Paladin values that immediate, heartfelt action aligned with service, even if the result was disastrous.
So, intent over outcome.
That seems to be the core lesson here. He confirms she was called to his service, but now, after everything she's been through, she has to actively choose her path forward. He gives her two options.
What are they?
Option 1, go back with Art of the Hall, get formal training. But Paladin warns, much will be required. It's the path of active duty, high expectation. Option 2, stay there in the peaceful Orant Valley, learn about her own people. Things will still happen, come across your path, but it's a more passive route of discovery.
Active service versus finding herself among her people. Big choice. Does he test her somehow?
A small test, yeah. He asks her for a gift, and suddenly a fiddle appears in her lap. She doesn't hesitate, just hands it over. Shows she's willing to give things up, prioritize service over personal possessions or comfort.
So what does she choose? The hall or the valley?
She spends some time in the valley first, healing, learning simple things like sewing, dancing with Kimens, doing chores. It's peaceful. But ultimately, she chooses the hall. She chooses active service.
But she doesn't leave right away.
No. Paladin's lesson about intent seems to have sunk in, but she also feels a sense of responsibility. She realizes she can't just move on. She needs to go back to that shattered mountain.
Why? What's left there?
Two things. First, she's being pulled by the meech egg. Its thrumming is getting stronger, calling to her. Second, she needs to find her lost moonbeam cape. And when she gets back there, she finds the cape, finds the eggs, and finds Jim and Meta.
They weren't dead.
Nope, just fainted during the extreme stress of the whirl. So her little dragon family is reunited, and the main quest item, the meech egg, is finally secure.
Okay, so now she's truly ready. Where does she head?
She and Dar, riding Celise and Merlander, head south along the Morchain Range towards Vendella and the Hall. And the change in Kale is immediately obvious.
How so?
Remember how terrified she was of Vendella's mental noise? Now, approaching the city again, she finds she can easily block the torrent. She can control that flood of humanity that overwhelmed her before. Her mind-speaking talent isn't scary anymore. It's a tool she's starting to manage.
So she's grown immensely.
Absolutely. She accepts her new path, to be a servant at the hall, wear the uniform, meet teachers, learn the true tales of Amara, including, presumably, more about the Allerions and her own identity. The journey from slave girl to chosen, empowered servant feels complete, but also like a new beginning.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Looking back at Kale's whole initiation journey, what's the biggest takeaway for you? What really stands out?
For me, it's the complexity of what serving Paladin actually means. It's not about being perfect or always winning battles cleanly. The moral framework seems much more focused on intent. Having your heart in the right place, aligned with Volder's service, seems paramount.
Yeah, that moment with Paladin validating her mistake with the landslide is key, isn't it?
Absolutely. He basically says acting out of loyalty, trying to help, was the right call, even with the terrible consequences. It suggests Volder and Paladin are looking at the motivation, the inner alignment. And maybe even those mistakes are part of the plan. You know, teaching moments about power, responsibility, but affirming that a good heart is the foundation.
So the aha moment for you, the listener, might be realizing that Paladin's way isn't about avoiding failure, but about learning from it with the right intent. And crucially, learning not to let evil emotions like rage rule your actions, even when fighting evil itself.
Exactly. It's a nuanced morality.
Okay, final thought to leave everyone mulling over. We touched on the source material mentioning the tale of Durmoil, this old folktale about fire dragons coming out of volcanoes, causing devastation. And we know Risto and his ally, Crim Copper, used dark magic, fire, destructive barriers.
Right. So the provocative question is Risto just some evil wizard who found some old nasty spells? Or is he doing something more deliberate? Is he consciously trying to tap into, maybe even replicate or magnify, the greatest historical disasters of Amara? Is he trying to rewrite history with more tragedy?
Which means for Kale, going to the hall isn't just about learning magic or fighting skills. She'll need to understand the deep history, the true tales of Amara's past conflicts, to figure out Risto's endgame and how to truly counter him. That historical knowledge might be the key to stopping history from repeating itself, only worse.
Something to think about. Until next time, keep seeking the deeper truth.